So fellow YouTuber FreeRangeLemon posted a very thoughtful video about how playing DCS changes and improves you as a person. And his argument is that if you play this kind of game, it enhances your ability to make mistakes, recognize failure in those mistakes, and build your mental resilience to overcome those challenges in the process of flying a full fidelity aircraft module, right? Now, in perhaps what may be, if not the first, a very uncommon event that's probably happened maybe single-digit number of times in the internet's history, I'm going to react positively to that video and say that I think he's right on the money with his video. His conclusions in that DCS makes you as a player kind of evaluate tasks, pay attention to detail, follow checklists, and learn from failure, and then kind of develop an emotional sense of recovery after losing or failing or crashing or getting shot down or all these things, and then bouncing back from that to do better next time. He's right in that it builds discipline in a way pretty similar to like martial arts would in like something like karate or something. And again, I'm not here to try to deconstruct the obvious. What he says is correct, but the reason that I mention his video is because it's a supporting point to something that I have felt for a long time about this game, which is that as amazing as it is not going to ever scale, no matter what people suggest that ED does with DCS. If you're listening or watching this video, you've probably encountered those posts too. People, well-intentioned people, saying that we should add Red 4 airplanes like Chinese J-20s or J-15s, Russian Su-35s, Su-30s. And just as an aside on that, I would love to see more advanced Red 4 airplanes in this game, but it's just not going to happen. Those governments do not do declassification, and they definitely don't have anything resembling Freedom of Information Act in their governing structures. So unless some major geopolitical stuff happens where the current government infrastructures of Russia and China change drastically in this regard, we will not see full fidelity Red 4 airplanes like those anytime soon. And that's sad, but that's the geopolitical reality of the world we live in. So coming back to the topic at hand, like, we can strategize like adding a different ATC system or improving the graphics or changing the radio buttons or adding different airplanes. Even there's been suggestions of decreasing the fidelity of the aircraft so that classification and details won't matter as much, which enhances the options for adding more airplanes to the game than otherwise might be feasible. Like, these are all, to be clear, these are all decent suggestions in their own way, but none of these things, even if you could make them happen, are going to make DCS a game that scales to the same level as, say, Call of Duty. And the reason is exactly what that content creator pointed out. And it's that this is a game whose play model is based on discipline. At the end of the day, it's based on discipline, overcoming challenges, overcoming obstacles, pushing yourself to learn the airplanes as best you can, and then learn the missions as best you can, so that you earn the ability, just like a real fighter pilot, you earn the ability to proficiently fly and execute missions in these full fidelity aircraft. It's not something that the game gives you on a silver platter. Now, to me and to him, it sounds like that's a plus. That's a good thing. And for what it's worth, I do feel like my mental acuity is much better playing DCS than it is any other type of game where it's just serving a dopamine hit on a plate. However, the downside of that setup is that, by definition, it's not going to be for everyone. Your average person is not going to be well for a game that requires hours of reading, hours of study, and more hours of mission setup, followed by additional hours of ego roasting failure and learning from those failures to get better. That's just a play style and a process cycle that is just, I'm not going to say it doesn't fit with society, because that makes it seem like people in general are undisciplined, and I don't want to say that, but it doesn't take a sociologist to understand that a game that relies on discipline as part of its play loop is not going to have mass appeal. That's just the reality of it. You can put as many Chinese fighter jets as you want. You can add as many missiles or stuff into the game as you like. You can make it very pretty. You can up the graphics. You can do all of these things that everyone suggests be done. You can even do what one YouTuber said and, you know, decontent the fidelity so that BD could put more airplanes in the game. You can do all these things, and it's not going to broaden the appeal of this to the general population, because you still have that core game functionality of needing to learn the airplanes, needing to learn the mission, and needing to learn proficiency to really get the most out of this and to enjoy it. Even if the airplane piece is solved and you just take care of the need to be into the checklists and everything, you still have the need to build the mission. You still have the need to build proficiency in the mission before you can just hop in here, fly an airplane, and do a thing, whether that's air to air, air to ground, whatever, and win consistently. So in this game, that's something that has to be earned, and I think that's a good thing, but I also think that's something that is going to inherently limit the appeal of DCS, no matter what aircraft are built or included into this game, no matter what levels are done, no matter how good the graphics are, no matter what other types of enhancements that are rolled into the game as the years go on. So thank you for tuning in and listening to my thoughts. Let me know what you all think, and we will catch you all in the next one. If you like my kind of content, consider subscribing. That way you'll be notified when I upload my next video. I usually do DCS reviews now, DCS videos and content, but I also do model reviews too from time to time. So stay tuned for my next one, and thanks for tuning in, folks.